Think about that for a second. It's not the once-in-a-lifetime decisions that truly shape us. It's not the dramatic turns or the grand moments of spotlight. It's the quiet ones, the ones no one applauds, that no one sees, the ones that happen when the alarm clock goes off, when the coffee is brewing, and when the temptation to scroll endlessly on a phone is stronger than the discipline to step into something meaningful. Aura's life isn't about fireworks. Tiny sparks lit every day that eventually illuminate the entire path ahead of her. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think greatness comes from the big choice, but it's the small ones multiplied over time that tip the scales. When Aura wakes up, she faces the same choices you and I do. Do I stay on the covers a little longer? Or do I honor the commitment I made to myself last night? Do I rush into the day reacting to what comes at me? Or do I take just 5 minutes to breathe, to set my intention, to remind myself of who I want to be? Those are small choices. But here's the secret. They're not actually small. They're weighty. They're powerful. They're the very currency of who we become. And Aura understands this not because she's perfect, but because she's aware. She knows that missing one choice isn't fatal, but neglecting the pattern is. She knows that when she stacks good choices, momentum starts to take over, and momentum is a force you can't buy, you can't fake, and you can't skip. Let's look closer. Imagine Aura sitting at her desk. The day is already pulling at her emails, notifications, things to do. She feels the itch to multitask, to scatter her attention like confetti, but she makes a small one thing at a time. Just focus on the task in front of her until it's done. No, it's not glamorous. No one claps when you finish writing that email or polishing that report. But that small choice builds trust with herself. That trust builds confidence. And confidence fuels her ability to take on bigger challenges tomorrow. And do you see it? That's invisible momentum. A decision so small it doesn't feel like it matters, yet it's shifting everything quietly in the background. Now, Aura's life isn't flawless. She gets tired, she gets distracted, she gets tempted to give up. And that's where the real beauty of small, consistent choices comes in. They forgive mistakes. Aura doesn't have to be perfect every single day. She just has to return to the small things that matter. Drink the water. Make the call. Say thank you. Read the page. When she misses, she doesn't spiral. She just realigns. Because momentum isn't built on perfection, it's built on persistence. We often overestimate what a massive leap can do for us. And we underestimate what stacking tiny steps can accomplish. Aura lives life like compounding interest. One choice deposited daily. It doesn't look like much at first. Nothing flashy. But fast forward a year and suddenly she has a reservoir of discipline, a wealth of confidence, and a lifestyle of resilience. That's the power of invisible momentum. It sneaks up on you in the most powerful way. Picture Aura at night. When the day is done, she has another choice. Does she stay up late chasing empty entertainment? Or does she wind down with rest that sets her up for tomorrow? And notice, this isn't a moral issue. It's a momentum issue, because the choice she makes at 11 p.m. will echo into 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's how life works. Small choices compound forward and backward. And Aura, through trial and error, has learned to treat these moments not as throwaways but as investments. So what happens when someone like Aura continues to make these small deposits? Should become steady, reliable, not just to others but to herself. And when she tells herself she'll do something, she follows through because she's trained that muscle. And when she fails, she doesn't fall apart because she's learned that failure doesn't erase the pattern. It's just a single point on the graph. Invisible momentum carries her forward, even when she stumbles. That's the quiet gift of daily life. It gives you a new canvas every 24 hours. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. Let's pause and think about what invisible momentum actually feels like. For Aura, it feels lighter. It feels like mornings that don't drag her down because she's already decided who she wants to be the night before. It feels like energy that doesn't run out halfway through the day because a small choice has created resilience in her mind and body. It feels like peace because instead of constantly reacting to emergencies, she's already moving in the direction she chose. Most people don't recognize this shift because they're waiting for a dramatic change, a headline moment. But Aura isn't waiting, she's building, quietly, patiently. There's another layer to Aura's small choices. They ripple out to others. A smile, a thank you, a kind word, small, barely noticed. But those choices change atmospheres. They soften tension in a room. They make someone else feel seen. Aura's invisible momentum doesn't just carry her, it lifts the people around her. That's the underestimated power of daily life. The ability to influence not by lecture, but by example. And when challenges come, and they always do, Aura doesn't suddenly become strong in that moment. Her strength was built long before in the small choices. The challenge just reveals what's already there. It reveals the muscle memory of persistence, term resilience of consistency, the courage of showing up when no one's watching. That's why her daily life matters so much. Not because every moment is monumental, but because every moment is practice. You might ask, doesn't this get boring? Doesn't Aura get tired of the same small choices? Yes. But here's the difference. She redefines what boring means. To her, boring isn't a lack of excitement. Boring is the foundation of freedom. It's the repetitive habits that give her the freedom to step into bigger opportunities without fear. Because she knows she can trust herself. That's not boring. Think about a brick wall. Each brick by itself is unimpressive, ordinary, insignificant. But layer them, one on top of another, day after day, and then you've got a fortress. Aura sees her life the same way. Each small choice is a brick, invisible when laid but undeniable when complete. And most people quit laying bricks because they don't see progress fast enough. Aura keeps laying them anyway. And eventually what looked invisible becomes undeniable. And if you zoom out on Aura's life, you realize she's not chasing momentum anymore. Momentum is chasing her. It carries her into opportunities she couldn't have imagined. It builds confidence she couldn't have faked. It earns her trust she couldn't have demanded. That's the kind of life small choices create. That's the daily rhythm of Aura. Got it? Here's Keynote 2, expanded into about 800 words in Jefferson Fisher style, without headings and without an ending sentence. How you handle the ordinary moments determines whether your life feels extraordinary or forgettable. Think about it. Most people are waiting for something big to happen before they decide to show up fully. They wait for the promotion, the recognition, the stage, the perfect opportunity. And only then do they want to give their best. But Aura's daily life tells a different story. She understands that the extraordinary doesn't start with the big event. It's crafted in the little quiet, ordinary moments when no one is watching. And it's those small responses to life's most normal rhythms that create the texture of her days. The ordinary is where life actually happens. It's in brushing your teeth, washing the dishes and the phone, walking to the store, greeting a neighbor. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's real. And Aura sees these moments as chances to practice who she wants to become. If she wants to be patient, she practices it while waiting in line. If she wants to be kind, she practices it with the cashier. If she wants to be focused, she practices it when she sits down to do the small tasks no one else cares about. The extraordinary is never waiting at the finish line. It's being built brick by brick in the ordinary. Most people overlook this. They think ordinary moments don't count. They think they can slack off in the small areas because the big moments are where they'll shine. But what they don't realize is that the big moments simply reveal what you've been practicing all along. If you're careless with the ordinary, in time you'll be careless when the spotlight comes. If you're intentional with the ordinary, the extraordinary will never catch you unprepared. Aura embodies this truth not by being perfect, but by being consistent. She doesn't despise the small routine moments, she leverages them. Let's take something as simple as a conversation. Aura treats ordinary conversations like opportunities to make people feel valued. She listens. She pays attention. She doesn't brush people off because it feels like a small interaction. And because she practices this in the ordinary, when she finds herself in an important conversation, she already knows how to show up. It's natural, it's who she's trained herself to be. What looked like small, forgettable exchanges have actually been shaping her into someone extraordinary. And this applies to challenges too. The ordinary moments are training ground. When Aura chooses discipline in the small, she builds resilience for the big. When she chooses gratitude in the routine, she builds perspective for the storm. Act in time. When she chooses integrity when no one's looking, she builds character for when everyone is. Life doesn't suddenly test us in big ways. It gradually trains us in small ways. And then the big test just shows what we've learned. Aura lives with that awareness. And it changes the way she treats every day. The extraordinary doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. Aura doesn't wake up and expect the day to be dramatic or cinematic. She simply expects herself to meet the ordinary moments with intention. And that alone makes her life feel extraordinary. Because extraordinary isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you handle what happens. Can experience the same ordinary day. One sees boredom, the other sees opportunity. The difference isn't the day. The difference is the choice. Aura chooses to show up fully even in the moments others dismiss. She shows up when she makes her bed. She shows up when she takes a walk. She shows up when she writes down a thought. These are extraordinary actions, but they create an extraordinary mindset, and that mindset colors her life with meaning. She doesn't need fireworks to feel alive. She just needs awareness that the ordinary is enough to shape something beautiful. Here's the truth. Your daily life will not be remembered for the highlight reels. It will be remembered for the rhythm. The rhythm of how you treated people. The rhythm of how you showed up for yourself. The rhythm of how you handled the day to day. That rhythm is what people feel from you, what they trust about you, and what ultimately defines you. Aura lives with that rhythm in mind, which is why her life feels extraordinary even when nothing special is happening. If you really want to change your life, stop waiting for the extraordinary. Start honoring the ordinary. Start treating every simple moment as a chance to practice the values you say you believe in. Start listening when you don't feel like it. Start being kind when it seems unnecessary. Start being disciplined when it feels unimportant. Because those ordinary choices are the seabed of an extraordinary life. That's the truth Aura's daily life teaches us.